So, hey guys, I'm Allie.
Allie.
I have Morgan and Mercedes here with me today. These are some wonderful ladies from Badassbabes. They have their own little group that focuses on mindset and all of the things that come with that. I'm going to stop the introduction and let you guys take it over. Tell me about Badassbabes and what your guys' goal and mission is.
So Badassbabes is kind of an idea that we had floating around for a while of how can we help the women in our community, regardless of kind of what's going on. And as we started digging within ourselves, we kind of found like mindset's kind of our forte. We've both been in the single mom mode. We've both been through our fair shares of traumas and, shit through life. But it's whether or not you stay there and you let that create you as a victim, or if you're going to become a survivor and you're going to get through it and use that to build yourself stronger. So it really spoke to us as something of like we have this ability to grow and help our community through our own experiences. I met Mercedes and immediately we vibed, we clicked. She had no problem going, yep, here's what I've been through. And it was like, you get it. We're not just the victims anymore. We've become the survivors, and we changed our mindset on it. And it's like, well, oh, you did that. I did that too. And we started kind of building and realizing that there's a pathway that you can take to kind of take back that mindset and become more.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, really what it boils down to is anything in life, it really always stems from your mindset. You're either going to conquer it or you're not. And where your mind, I mean, it's in between your ears is what gets you farther in life or what's going to keep you stuck. So for us to be able to really, whenever we're coaching and going one-on-one with people, we can actually like dive in and really dissect and help them realize what's going on. And just like yesterday, yeah, a girl messaged me that I'm working with, and she's like, wow, I'm writing this stuff down and I sound crazy. And I'm like, see, you got to get out of your head. Yeah. And then you got to realize and identify things. So that's really what we break empowers.
We break it down and make sure that we get to the like broad truth, because, when you start diving in and you start reflecting internally, you get this surface level. Oh, well, it must be this. Let's go a little deeper. Oh, wait, no, it's actually this. Now you keep going down. And once you get to that raw, true, exposing, naked, raw side of yourself, then you can see here's where I am and here's where I want to go. And it's a lot easier to create a path and, be able to conquer those rocky roads a little bit better if you have that clear mindset and understand that when you start winning the battles in your mind, you can actually start winning the battles in life.
Yeah, I love that. And very true. In that, piggybacking off of that, Morgan, I knew you before you went through your whole transformation.
Yeah, that whole transformation. Yeah. How did you see me? Back then?
It's so interesting. Actually, both of us went through, very large transformations in our life and knew each other beforehand. And it's crazy talking to you, thinking of conversations and things that we had previous to where we are now, where actually just before you moved to Texas, right after your baby shower, I had just gotten into my current relationship. And I remember calling you and we were both kind of like talking about how the struggles of our relationship and how things were hard and those kinds of things in any new relationship. And then here we are, fast forward 2 weeks ago, you and I were on the phone talking about how we've grown so much within our relationships and now how we have these strong and incredible relationships. And it's like, who would have thought? Like,
it's nice being in a healthy relationship, huh? With yourself and with somebody else. Yeah. It's a big difference.
Yeah. It's funny just thinking like the vast contrast between where we were to where we are now, and how the only thing that changed was mindset and how we worked on ourselves and figured out those issues that we had within us, which also then helped the people around us grow.
We also did remove ourselves from a fairly toxic environment.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, you and I were both teachers working at a preschool, and yes, there were teaching days, Allie.
Yeah, there were. That was like a lifetime ago.
I know, and that's where we had met. But I remember being out in that parking lot at your truck, crying, going, "What the fuck are we doing? Like, where is there a light at the end of this tunnel?" And it was, had gotten to the point where we were both just these lost, angry souls, not knowing what path to go on, and individually, separately, and we kind of lost contact for a little bit. We both had to dive internally and really start working on ourselves. And now that you've worked through things, you come across an obstacle, you're able to look at it differently now.
Yeah.
And that makes life a whole lot better, and in a way of like it's easier to navigate.
Yeah, absolutely. So within your guys' community, I'm just switching gears a little bit. Within your guys' community, with Badassbabes, what do you guys offer as for helping others? I know you guys have an awesome Facebook page that, holy shit, some of the stuff that you guys post in there. Mercedes, you actually did a post. I'm in the Facebook page right now. You guys actually did a post and you were so cute. Here we go. This one. Free looks good on you. You had done like a series in those ones.
Oh yeah.
And talked about what being free looks like, as well as your relationship with your kids. You guys talk about that a lot. So what do you guys offer as for like help and support within your guys' communities? Is it Facebook? What does that look like?
Well, right now, what you're a part of, that is our free community where we just have a bunch of women and building that community and letting them know that, hey, we are all women and we want to support you. We know that we go through trials and traumas, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel because we are living proof of it. So if you're going through something, I'm young, and what's crazy is I'm only 31, but I've seen way too much and been through way too much, and that's where my wisdom stands from. Just all the things that I've been through and to be able to overcome them. And I knew that was God's plan for me to be able, to go through these things and be like, hey, I've done it. And so can you. Aside from that, we offer coaching. We one-on-one coaching, and we also have our merch line. But with our one-on-one coaching, it is more hands-on. We're more involved. We're making the map for you to plan out the life where you want to be. And ultimately, it's like breaking down old personalities and rebuilding this new person you want to be. We help guide you do that.
We help you unbecome what you've been, because obviously what you've been isn't making you happy. It's not creating the life that you're wanting. So we have to kind of take a step back and unbecome that, and then show how to become this new growth and thriving, and this warrior almost, that we can reshape your mind. But the one-on-one is a lot more tailored to your specific desires and goals in life. And you know what? We have women that come to us and go, I don't even know what the hell I want. I just don't want to be where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, perfect. We can handle that because we've been there. We've all been there.
So everybody's journey is the same. It's not the same. Everybody's journey is different, is what I was trying to say.
Right.
Is not the same. But you guys give them that very individual support to be able to help them get from point A to point B, which is very messy and hard to navigate. And sometimes there's a C, D, E, F in the middle of that.
Yes, and X, Y, Z, and then you come back around, and it's a whole thing. But we really tailor it to you, and we create it with this environment of like, we're not going to judge you, because you know what? We've been through it. We've been through, some things worse, some things better. So what? We're not going to judge you. That's the last thing you need, is judgment when you're trying to develop yourself. So we are just all about having the community where we can. Mercedes brought up, we've got our Facebook, we've got our Instagram, we've got our merch line that, you are a badass babe. You truly embrace that I'm a fucking warrior. And I'm not going to let anything stop, because, what we really like to hit home with is you all have 24 hours in a day. You can never get back those 24 hours in a day, no matter how much you spend, how much you anything, bribe, beg, plead, you're never going to get that time back. So let's start using that time in an efficient way to where what we talk about with becoming free is it's not being financially free. It's being free within your heart and your soul, and you're at peace, and you can kind of roll with what comes through life.
Instead of holding on to, focusing so much on this one little thing that's not going correctly, and you focus, and then that kind of becomes, right, law of attraction, what you focus
Right.
on,
And the thing about that is a lot of people, whenever they think about healing, they're constantly finding what to do to heal themselves. So they get in a spiral of overthinking, overanalyzing, trying to figure out what to do. And really, with mindset mentors, we listen, and then you already know what you need. You just don't hear it within yourself. So we're able to hear and listen, and then we can dissect it and be like, hey, this is what you're telling me. This is what you need to do. Or let me help you.
You already know.
Yeah. So
I love that. You guys are like the outside, like third party perspective almost of, wait a second, you just said X, Y, and Z. So we don't do that. And then it's like one of those moments you're like, oh shit, I did say that. You're right.
Oh yeah. Yep. We've talked about it. We've had clients that they'll be like, well, I've thought about starting up my own business because this is where I'm passionate about, but I don't know. I don't know. I've got this job. I want to just do this. I'm going to do this. And it's like, well, wait, you just talked about wanting to do this whole thing where you're creating this future for yourself, and that makes you happy and that brings you fulfillment. What do we need to do to start getting you on that path to where you can create something that brings you fulfillment? Because if you're living a life without fulfillment, it's a life of misery.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets very mundane and repetitive. You just kind of go into autopilot mode, and then you're like, oh shit, what am I doing? Yeah.
This insanity and this chaos.
Absolutely. So you guys had done a event out there in Texas. Do you guys plan on doing any other events? What about events virtually? Do you guys host it? Are you guys planning? I guess this is kind of an assumptive question. What does that look like as for future events, working with people that are not located in Texas? What does all of that look like?
Yeah. So, we've talked about even hosting retreats quarterly once we get to that point. We do want to host more events locally, and virtual, is actually a really, thank you for putting that idea out there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, how to incorporate going live and doing some live events, not just in person. We've had a lot of people asking us for our in-person in our local community. So we're starting there and building, but like Mercedes has already brought up, if you're in our Facebook group, you're going to get notifications. And we've already been talking about building these retreats where they're going to be masterminds where we have other expertise and other specialists come in, and we have almost like a girls' weekend. But
we're diving deep.
We're diving deep. We're going to embrace it. We're going to have, a fitness and nutrition might be, our Fit.by.Alli. We're going to be there. We are talking to a photographer about really showing you that you are a badass and you are a fucking babe. So we're talking about even incorporating like a boudoir shoot in our weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like we really want that to embrace the power and regain your power as a woman. Mm-hmm. If you've seen it, Mercedes had brought up or created this video and put it up about how you have to embrace your feminine and your masculine side, and really what it looks like to embrace that feminine side, because it's viewed as being weak. We are the only species that view our women as being weak, and we are not.
We're the most powerful, actually. Our bodies can do a lot. Just having a baby, being able to create life, we downplay our ability and our power. We are what we want to be. And if you sit back and let comparison or fear or anything else like that come into play, then you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not helping any other women, pave the way. So that's what we really embody, is just honing in into your own power and sharing that light with the world, because we all need everybody's light to be able to, it's like, a community, and we all got to thrive on it.
It's building that village and creating that tribe, because I know personally too. So we talked about this a little bit before started recording here, but getting into mindset and working on that and digging into that for myself was after I had started my fitness journey, and it was kind of, brought on by that. And I know, Mercedes, you said as well, you had started kind of in that same way with really focusing on fitness, and you're like, well, for me personally, it was, well, I don't feel great, so I'm going to work on my physical health. Started doing that, and then I reached a point where I was like, well, the reflection looks great, but still don't feel great, and had to then start digging into myself and figuring out what was happening. So you guys help women at every point in their journey, correct? It's not like, oh, you just have to be a beginner, you're seasoned, you're well into it. You guys help everybody
all across the board. I mean, we're still on our own journeys.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying that we're perfect by any means. We're still in our own journeys.
Well, the thing is too, like, once you level up, there's a next level. So it's not like your journey is going to be continued.
There's always,
and if you stop growing. So you just got to keep climbing that ladder, and that's part of a continuous journey until we're at eternal. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, we coach each other at times. I'm like, girl, I need to talk.
Yeah.
And we go through it and we coach each other, and she'll say something. I'm like, well, shit. All right.
She's
yep.
like, okay,
all right, here we go.
Today.
But like I said, it's something that we're still on our own journey. So of course, we're going to take anybody in any aspect of their journey. It's this no judgment. It's you're where you are today because of what you've done and built yourself to, whether that's negative or positive. Now, if you're not happy with where you are, that's the only thing that matters. If you want to grow, we're going to teach you how to grow. There's no restriction on any of that.
That's perfect. That's beautiful. Did you have something to add, Mercedes? I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine. So yeah, basically with Badass Babes, we just focus on mind, body, heart, and business. So anything within that area, it doesn't matter if you're 9-figure in your business, your mindset might be off, so we may need to help you on your mindset, or vice versa. Whichever it is, we can help in all aspects, and we're going to pinpoint all those all those points and help you.
No, that's beautiful. I love that. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here and finish our interview. Did you ladies have anything you wanted to add about Badass Babes or anything before?
Right now, I mean, we're doing our 12 days of Christmas, showcasing some of our products. Yes.
And I can attest to products. I'm gonna just throw it in there. I can attest to products. I have a hoodie and a tank top from you guys. And the hoodie, now that it's cooler here, like 70s is cool for us. I've been wearing that thing, and it is so freaking soft. Like, quality of the items are insane. I was like,
I don't want to be biased, but the hoodies are really soft, and that is the one compliment that we get a lot on, is the hoodies being super soft, and I love that about them.
And there may or may not be more hoodies coming out soon.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely.
And get you a badass hoodie.
Yeah, right. Badass, it literally.
So what we'll do is we'll throw up a promo code, and we'll do Fit.by.Alli, and it'll get you an extra 10% off.
That's awesome. Thank you.